So, Jamie Gallagher, right? Or Gallagher, something like that. You know, I respect this guy a lot. I do. And I do listen to his commentating, of course, on football, right? After the game, half time, he's in Sky Sports. Sometimes he's in the Champions League room with Tien Henley and those guys, right? I love their combinations and their cheeky laugh. I don't know. I do watch him, as I said. But this guy has been talking a lot, not just about. I'll come to Africa, right? Africa Cup of Nations. This guy has been talking this and that, and I don't say anything about it. I just okay, whatever. He's talking about football. They are European football, right? They are English football. Let's be honest here. Me, English football, I can't say much about English football because it's not African football. It's not my tradition. I just support Chelsea. I'm a fan of Chelsea Football Club, right? So I can say whatever I want. And I can say whatever I want about football, of course, right? But it's not my tradition. I'm not English, right? So I'm going to come back from the war zone of Chelsea, English football. I'm going to go back to my land, to where I'm from, to where my blood streams are flowing, right? Africa. I'm standing up to all Africa this time. So Jim Gallagher mentioned about Africa Cup is not, it's not good enough, you know? Basically, he was saying, if you watch an interview, you'll see what he said, you know? I'm just reacting to what he said. I'm not at home. If I was at home, I will prepare this video very nicely and I will capture the video where he said about the Africa Cup of Nations. I watched the video. I did watch, and he said about Mohamed Salah, he cannot win the Ballon d'Or because Africa Cup is not a major tournament. I was laughing when I saw that. I'm like, this guy, I will call this guy now, this guy think Africa Cup is not a major tournament. Where is he? Is he dreaming or something? Is he lost his mind or something? Africa Cup is not a big tournament. What are you talking about, my friend? What are you talking about? You think other leagues, I'll say other, for example, what is this? Asian Cup. And there's another cup. Asian Cup and Copa America, Euros. You think they're the only big tournaments? Africa Cup is not a great tournament. Mohamed Salah can't win the Ballon d'Or. This guy, he thinks so little. Or maybe it's just for him to get a reaction from other people. And that itself, it's racist. I gotta say it. It sounds racist. Some people, they will take it in a bad way, you know. They will take it in a bad way because you can't say that Africa, blah 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 blah. Let's be honest here. Africa, the continent of Africa, is the most richest continent in the world. It's very rich to the point where every country in this world, major country, America, United Kingdom, Russia, China, everybody, they have stored something from Africa. They have taken something from Africa. Look at their countries now. They look beautiful because of Africa. They have taken stones, they've taken minerals, gold, especially in Congo. There's a lot of good stuff in there. This is why Africa is like this, because they have taken everything. This is why Africa cannot be Africa, one Africa. I rather Africa being one Africa. I rather that. Because if we are like that, we'll dominate the world. And this is why these people don't want Africa to be one Africa. We'll dominate the world. I'm talking about Africa now because Jamie Gallagher said that Africa Cup of Nations is not a big tournament. Africa worldwide, when we go to Africa Cup, we start watching. Billions of people watching Africa Cup of Nations. Billions of people. And he's saying it's not a major tournament. And for him talking about Salah cannot win because of this and this and this. Get out. Get out. What are you talking about? Do you know exactly what you're talking about Mohamed Salah can't win this and this? If you look at right now in the Premier League, who is more consistent player? Who's more scoring goals and who is more capable of doing things from nowhere? It's Salah. Nobody's in the Premier League right now. I can see, okay, this guy is impressive. No one. Name him. Name him. Nobody. Right now, if you search top player in the Premier League, Salah is a top player. Where is he from? From Africa. From Africa. Yes, you are right. Salah hasn't won any major trophies. Well, he has won the Champions League. Of course, it's not the country cup, right? It's not. But if you win the Africa Cup, that's a major tournament. That's a major tournament. And if he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, I won't be surprised. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of players from Africa, they have been looked upon. African players, they've been looked upon. They've been looked upon very low. Very, very low. And it's not right. It's not right. This is where I said Africa as a continent is a very huge continent. A very huge continent. And we have so much money. But people have come in, people have stolen everything in Africa. This is why it's like this. It's just very sad. It's very sad. And how many top players in Africa that are in Europe right now? Look at France. Just look at France. All those players, the African players, they're just switching their destination to France. You know, their nationality to France. They're just switching to France. Otherwise, those players, they can be in an Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah. So, we have so many players in Africa. In the Premier League, so many players have played in the Premier League. Legend after legend of players in the Premier League. Drogba, Salah now is doing fantastic thing. You know? And who else? Adebayo, if you remember Adebayo. Great players, you know? Samuel Eto'o has been playing at Chelsea. Barcelona has been playing there. Inter, he was there. So many good players. So for him to start talking about Africa like, oh, it's not a great tournament, Africa Cup of Nations, he's lost his mind, I have to say. He's lost his mind. Because a normal person who knows about football, a normal person who understands the game, you cannot keep opening your mouth and say, no, Africa Cup is not a big tournament. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy because a normal person cannot say that. A normal person who knows football inside and outside cannot keep saying blah, 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 opening his mouth. What are you talking about, brother? You know? It's upset me when I watch that. I'm like, this guy, what are you talking about? Yes, I've allowed you to say something else, right? He had to say something else about this, about Chelsea, of course. I didn't say anything, you know? But Africa, no, I will say something about that, you know? As I said, I'm standing up for all the African people about this. We need to stand together because Africa Cup, look, I'm from Zambia, right? If we are not in the Africa Cup of Nations, if any African team win, I'm happy. I'm happy because they are my brothers, you know? It's Africa. I just love Africa. That's all. I'm a native Africa. A native. You understand? So don't say Africa Cup is not a major tournament. You're hurting me and now you're hurting others. Especially me, because you're hurting me. I remember Zambia winning the Africa Cup of Nations in 2012. We went crazy. The whole country went nuts. You know nuts? Every street around 2 in the morning, they were full of people celebrating like nuts. We went nuts. The whole country was like, whoa, you know, lot of noise, just like Jesus has returned, you know, just like Jesus has returned on earth the second time, just like the Bible says. The whole world was like, whoa, crazy. I remember that day in 2012, just like yesterday. Wow. So guys, I will see you. Thank you very much. Subscribe. I'm not home. As I said, this is why I'm recording on my phone. And you can hear the voice is not great, but it is what it is. I will see you soon. Have a lovely day. God bless.